The objectives can be regarding your career, the company, or the choosing a particular field. Which field you are choosing and why did you choose that field? What is your interest? The objectives should be based on that. Uh, in your objectives, you should not mention few words like we, them, their, us, me, my. Similar kinds of words should not be included in your career objectives. Please note such we, then, their, us, me, my. These kinds of words should not be included in it. You can use any article or a prepositions. You can Google it. Google में अगर आप देखोगे तो बहुत सारे आपको मिल जाएंगे related to you. Make sure it should be related to you, your field, and your career. What is your point of view towards your career? Like I can give you some examples like I'm seeking to a position in or to seek a position in. Like to seek an opportunity in your organization which provides an ample opportunities to exhibit the skills. This can be the one of the example, or you can write as you are a fresher, you can write like I am looking for an opportunity in a reputed organization which will help me to deliver my best and update my skills in engineering and meeting the demands of the organization. These are the examples. ऐसा same to same मत लिखना अपने इसमें. That should be related to you. I repeat, please do not write same what I said because objectives can be different for different people. Okay. My suggestion would be you should write or formulate 3 to 4 objectives uh, from which you can pick one. Which one is the best? You should give 1 to 2 hours to formulate the standard objective for you, and it should be so beautiful that the interviewer get impressed with. Remember, the important thing is the objective should not be more than 2 lines. It should not be more than 2 lines. Don't write paragraphs. Avoid writing paragraphs in your resume ever. So moving forward with the educational details. In educational details, you can include 4 columns. You can make a table of your educational details in which you have to include 4 columns. Like first will be of examination, second year of passing, and third university or board, second percentage or CGPA related to career objectives. Yes, Rohan, what is your question related to career objectives? Hello? Is able to hear clearly in case of... Rohan, can you write your question in your text chat? In this, you have to show your interest that you are interested and it is your passion to work over here. If you are going out of your domain, then you have to show the interest and related to it will be related other. I'll cover it further. Okay. Moving forward, uh, I'll repeat educational summary. In educational summary, you have to make 4 columns: examination, year of passing, university or board, percentage, and CGPA. Keep in mind, in education, you have to go in decreasing order. Like you have whatever is your highest qualification. You must have done PG or graduation, anything. It should be at the top. At the very first, it will come your highest education. Like if I have done my master's, I'll go put my master's degree, my passing of year, the university from where I have passed, and the percentage and CGPA. At the last, it will come your 10th 10th passing year board and percentage or CGPA. If you don't have passed it and you have included it, like if you're pursuing, then in the percentage section, you can write still pursuing. Am I clear to it? If you have not completed your graduation and or post graduation and searching for a job or applying it somewhere, so you can write it still pursuing in the percentage or CGPA section. BA, whatever short forms you use, you should have the full form. Like if I'm using BE, then slash Bachelor of Engineering. You should write the full form. If I'm using format 10, 12 CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, it should be mentioned below your table, educational summary. That is list of acronym. Okay, any questions? Can I move forward? Just a second. Something is wrong. I think that is really sad. Okay. Now, am I pursuing to BE? So I need to mention marks last semester. If you are pursuing in BE, I think I will suggest you to put the semester marks semester wise, like higher semester at the top and following in the decreasing order, 7, 8, whatever it might be. And whichever semester you are pursuing, you should write the uh, still pursuing. I'll suggest you to mention it semester wise. Or you can, for if your CV is getting or your resume is getting too lengthy, you can add it and put it like in year wise. Yearly भी डाल सकते हैं and semester wise भी डाल सकते हैं depending on your choice. Okay. Okay. Moving forward, project details. If you have done any project in your BE, in your diploma, or in your graduation or post graduation, you should mention it. Or you have done any project. If you have not done any project, and if you have done any case study to some company or anything related to corporate world or something like, you should mention. You can also mention that case study in at the place of this project detail. So first in project detail should come the title. The whatever you have given the title or a name to your project, it should come to at the first and try to highlight it or bold it. Okay. And if you have done it with the collaboration to some company or on behalf of any company, you should mention that company's name below that. And you can also give any guide's name on that company or who have guided you. You can give and then their and name and their phone numbers. After that, description. After title and the company, it comes description. Description should be very crisp and precise. It should be not more than three. It's not like you have to explain the whole project Just write the 3 to 4 sentences, 3 to 4 lines, not more than that. Don't try to make paragraph and writing your whole project details like मैंने ये किया मैंने वो किया फिर हमको ये parts लगे tools etc and all. No need. Just make it so short that okay, like um, it should be of 3 to 4 lines. That's it, not more than that. Below that, you should mention your team members, or if you don't want to name them, you can have number of team members. Okay, then duration. How much duration you took to complete that project? And what is mean by? Am I clear? Is anyone having doubt in project details? Can I move forward? Rahul, Rohan, scoring is not important. What you have gained knowledge and what is your confidence level, that is important. How do you present to your interviewer? That is important. If we have seen that toppers, they have very much technical knowledge and they are very sharp and they don't have any confidence level, or they are very weak in English or communicating what they are trying to say, or their problem solving may be that not okay. Then if you have that ability, then you can be get selected. Scoring is not a big issue. You can overcome it with the other quality or skills you have, but that you just have to polish it. Okay, any more questions? Okay, moving forward with the achievements. In achievement, you should include like if you have participated in any inter-college or competitions, or in college competitions, you have one the project competition, you have done poster competitions, or you have selected for the nationals or the inter-college or state level, you have played sports and all. You should mention those achievements in your achievement section. Make sure you should not mention where you have participated. Like हम लोग colleges में छोटे छोटे annual events में participate करते हैं and we get that participation certificate. Do not mention that. You have to you have to include only when you have won any prize in it. First prize, second prize, third prize, or medals, trophies. If you have won that, you have to mention that only. Rohan, in that case, you have to prove yourself that though my scores are not good, and I will be prove myself with my hard work and all to achieve it, and I'll prove myself the best and not let you down. In that case, you have to convince the interviewer. Girls giving preference, Rohan, it's not the case. I don't think this is the problem that girls are getting preferences and boys are not. I think the boys get preference for the outdoor locations and all, and it is the equal for it. I have attended many interviews and all. If this is not the case, when you will go, you'll get it. I don't think this is any issue. Nowadays, both girls and boys both are get treated equally. Any more questions, Rohan? Anyone else wants to ask something? No questions? Can I move forward? Okay. Respond to feedback after accepting one. And if HR is not giving you feedback after your rejection, then you have to take a follow up with him. Like obviously, उनके पास कितने बच्चे आते हैं for an interview, for they took the GDs and all. सबको response देना and सबको feedback देना is not possible for them, and it is not so recordable. So you have to take follow up with them. Like you have to give them a mail that so please let me know for my why what is lacking in me to better in myself so that I can focus on it for the next. You have to you can mail the HR by and it should be very gentle and politely. You should ask the HR why about the feedback of rejection. I know that is going to next time, so you don't know where are you. Sure. It will be, my answer will be same. You have to take the follow up with the mail, and you should be very gentle and polite. Do not harsh um, on your words while emailing to HR or anything. You just have to take the follow up. Okay, moving forward to co-curriculum activities. In co-curriculum activities, you have to mention the short-term training you have done or you have attended any programs like let me give you an example, it will be more clear to you all, like a 3 days short-term training in XYZ organization or institute, or you after that on which date or time or which year you have done, or you have any batch number of it, you should mention it. Like if you have done a training in Kuradi, like engineer or electrical or mechanical students or any other have done Mahajanko Kuradi training, then you should write like training in Mahajanko training center, and you should mention the batch number, which batch in which batch you have were, and the year which year you have attended, whether it was summer or winter. Okay, this will come in co-curriculum activities. Moving forward to extracurriculum activities, extracurriculum activities should be like where you have participated in the bridge courses during our education. There are many bridge courses that are conducted by the colleges, or you do it by yourself, like any software development, or you like workshops. Colleges में workshops होते हैं, whatever seminars, international seminars, you present your paper, your project to the international seminars, or you go over there. You should mention that in extracurricular activities. Like, for example, I should tell you participate in 4 days workshop of PLC SCADA, okay? Or participate in dash 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 organization associated by IEEE, paper published, international paper, whatever. You should mention it in extracurricular activities. certain placement, but no. If you are as far as if you are selected, then you can request them. No, I don't think, because government has given them the orders like not to किसी को भी ना निकाले, सबको I mean ये रखे. तो I don't think this phase will come, that in joining, and no issue will come. If you have the governing letter or call letter from the company, then you can approach to them that company, you have I have the cover letter and you have to join as soon as the lockdown gets over. Okay, lockdown will not affect your joining or anything else. Just think, during this lockdown, you have to take the follow-up with the HR. Please keep in mind, you have to take the follow-up with your HR regarding your joining and joining dates. Please make sure that. Okay, any more questions? What I say, many companies that 60% marks should be. Yes, 60% marks should be the minimum criteria for many companies. Basically, if you go for a small scale industry, they do not prefer for the any percentage or score. They get to your skills, your confidence level, your problem solving confidence, and how do you face the situations. They have a look on them, very minute, like 30% companies demand for the 60% marks. If you can overcome this by getting experience, like I will suggest you to get, and you should search for a small scale industries and you should get experience. Okay, I'll cover this later. Moving forward with the strengths, very important. स्ट्रेंथ्स में बहुत लोग ऐसा लिखते हैं कि टीम लीडरशिप, कम्युनिकेशन. Try to modify it very beautifully and cleanliness. Like you can write flexibility and adaptability, quick learner. You can write as your strength, like coaching. If you are good in coaching people, you can write teaching, creativity, something like this. Communication, team leadership, you can write such. You can include such things in your strengths. Please make sure that you should never ever include your weakness in your resume, or if the while during the interview or anyone asks for your weakness, please try to avoid it, not to mention your weakness. That will be a great disadvantage to you. Okay, am I clear with the strengths? Let me repeat the examples. Flexibility, adaptability, quick learner, you can mention, or you have anything else, you can add it. Okay. Moving forward to hobbies and interests. Very interesting. Most of the people write reading, watching movies, songs. This is very childish. We should not write such. It seems to be very fake. And if you are genuine in it and you are included in it, like reading books, you should then you should have a knowledge of it, like which books, which authors you like, and which kind of books you like, and कौन से books पढ़ी हैं and all. You should know of them. And if by chance अगर interview में भी वही book पढ़ी होगी, just you mention any author and he asks their name few books of this author, then you should know that. You should have a knowledge of it, then only you can mention that. If you are saying watching movies, you should know the actor, best director, and latest movies. But I'll suggest you to write it like volunteering work. Volunteering work means time management. It comes like in college, we do volunteering the annual functions, small programs, we volunteer, seminars and all, we volunteer it. In that, we come with the time management skill. It comes with the time management, and if you have the experience of it, then only you should mention it. Okay, you can include sports. Like this should be hobbies and interests should be related to your achievements. लाइक अचीवमेंट्स में जो सर्टिफिकेट्स आपने डाले हैं, जो कॉम्पिटिशन्स में आपने हो, जैसे आपने स्पोर्ट्स का डाल दिया, जैसे आई एम गुड इन स्पोर्ट्स, लाइक टू cricket or badminton or anything, you have one prize in it, right? Then you should mention it in your hobbies and interests. But I've seen people, these two things are completely different. Everything in your resume should be relatable to each and everything. The one thing should not contradict the other. Okay? So if you're good in sports, you should mention the sports. You should never ever fake this, like writing, listening songs, watching movies, reading books, and all. You should not write that. If you are genuine in it, then only you should write it. Okay, am I clear? It's taking too much of time. Let me wrap it up. Okay. Language known. In this section, you have to make a table of 4 columns, in which first it will come languages, second read, write, speak. Fourthly, you can add, it's optional, it's not compulsion, but you can add it understand. If you can understand it, this language, you can, if you can't write, read or speak, if you can understand that language, you can mention it. Few companies suggest you should understand Germany, France and all. Then you, if you are going to that level, you should include it. Okay, the language should be like English, Hindi, Marathi, or whatever you know, you should mention it. In the other sections, like if you can read it, write it, speak it, then tick it or write yes in front of it, or you can cross it or say no in the table. Okay, moving forward to personal details. In personal details, you should have like name, firstly, date of birth, slash age, your age, what age you have at present, blood group, father's name, father's occupation, mother name, mother's occupation. In mother's occupation, if your mom is housewife, don't write it as housewife. Write it, I'll suggest you to write homemaker. It looks more professional. It is homemaker. I repeat, please note it down. In your mother's occupation, if your mother is a housewife, you can write it like house or homemaker. Okay, then siblings. Siblings should include the number of siblings you have, including you. Okay, then the permanent address. The permanent address should cover the proper address you have. If you are a hostelite, you should, after the permanent address, you should mention the hostel address. Okay. Then the alternate number. Alternate number is very important. If HR is not able to connect you, then alternate number is very important. After that, declaration. Here you have to declare that whatever information I have given you is correct, and you have to write one, it should be of one line, and after that you have to, on left hand side, you have to write date, below it place, and on very right to it, you in bracket you have to write your name in capital letters, your full name in capital letters in brackets, in circular brackets. Okay, just a minute. Any questions? Any questions? If you want the sample resume format, if you are interested, I can mail you. the resume format. Any questions related to this? Few things. Meanwhile, I'll repeat few things like avoid using paragraphs. Everything should be in your bullet points and everything should be aligned to your left hand side of your resume. When you are designing your resume, please try to align it on your left hand side. I have seen few resumes like they have made two columns uh, and like please avoid that. And your font on size of the letters should be also good like 10, 11, and your heading should be one more than that. Like if your header is highlighted point has the font of 11, then the normal font should be 10 or 9. Rohan is asking if your interview is good, but not small mistake, and after then small mistakes, you can be rejected. So you can win all. Um, Small mistakes, right? Um, it depends on your gesture and posture, like how are you presenting, what's your gesture towards it. If you are very gentle and polite and you are very confident, your small mistakes can be avoided. But if you get rude or your confidence level, अगर confidence level ऊपर नीचे हो गया तुम्हारा because of that mistake, then it can affect you. Make sure your confidence level should be maintained till the end. So starting में तुम्हारा confidence level है वही तुम्हारा ending तक होना चाहिए. Your eye contact, your confidence in your eye, on your facial expressions, you should have control on them. Before going to seminar, you should prepare everything in front of mirror. I'll suggest you to have a mirror, a full length mirror, where you can see your from your top to bottom how you're presenting yourself. Okay, it's getting too much lengthy. I'll rush up to the next section, like how to build practice, how to build particular resume. Most important thing is your resume should not be more than 2 pages. It should not be more than 2 pages. If your length is increasing, you should decrease your font size or you should adjust it in 2 pages. Okay, and what makes your resume strong is like if you have done any projects, study cases, and all, you should mention that. Project is very good and case study. So it seems like you have the practical knowledge of that field if you are going to that field. Rich courses like you are knowing some softwares. Uh, One additional thing in extracurricular activities, which I have mentioned in extracurricular activities, you should mention the softwares you have known. The softwares you know, like Microsoft Office, PowerPoint presentation, basics of Excel. If you know Arduino, if you are an electrical engineer, you know Arduino, AutoCAD, anything, you should mention that. If you know the basics, then basics of that software. You should mention the softwares and extracurriculum activities. You should write software dash and the all these name all these softwares. Do not number it bullet wise. Just comma it and write it. Okay. Do not write this in bullet points. It will cover your maximum space. Resume is very brief. I don't know, his name is not visible. Some XYZ is coming. He asked me what is difference between resume and CV. Resume is very short. It's very precise format of your activities, of your details. CV can be more lengthier than resume. This is the difference between CV and resume. The CV can be lengthier than resume. Resume is very precise and up to the point, and whatever you have written in very crisp and precise format. CV can increase to 2 pages. It can exceed from 2 pages. But I'll suggest for resume. Resume is the best. Don't go for CV because as much information you will put, you will get in trouble that both the format can be the same. Okay. Uh, if you have done internships, it is the best part. You have to include in your resume because again it seems to you have a similar kind of experience in the corporate world or you have the practical knowledge of it. And many people have a practice like एक बार resume बना लिया then they वो उसकी तरफ देखते तक नहीं, they just forward it to or take it to interview. I'll suggest do not practice such things. You should change your resume time to time depending on the industry or organization you're trying to proceed. You should keep changing your resume. There might be the small changes, like in objectives, there may be changes, and hobbies can change, strengths can change depending on the organization or the industry you are pursuing to interview. Am I clear? This is the most important. Do not just forward the same resume to all. You should keep changing your resume time to time, depending on the industry. Okay, moving forward. How to bring fluency in your English speaking? पहली बात तो हम लोग इंग्लिश से बहुत ज़्यादा डरते हैं. Please do not fear it. Overcome your fear about right and wrong. The main thing is overcome your fear. मत डरो. क्या इंग्लिश में क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, ग्रामेटिकली स्टाइल आएगा कि क्या ना आएगा. Do not think. ये सब भूल जाओ. कोई भी इसमें परफेक्ट नहीं है. किसी को इतनी इंग्लिश ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट इंग्लिश किसी को नहीं आती. So build your confidence that okay, if you go wrong somewhere, if anyone is correcting, accept it. Okay, this is for bettering myself. ये मेरे लिए अच्छा है. Thank you for telling me. I'll keep in mind. You can say this. And please overcome your fear of English. English is very easy language. Making effort is very important. Some people do not make efforts. They just want the fluent English, but they say, I want the fluent English, and they do not practice it, they do not put efforts in it. Try to make some efforts. Building up confidence. बहुत बार देखा होगा कि इंटरव्यूज में अगर किसी के पास टेक्निकल नॉलेज नहीं है बट उसकी इंग्लिश स्ट्रांग है तो ही इज मोर कॉन्फिडेंट देन यू. इफ यू हैव द टेक्निकल नॉलेज, the person with the fluent English is more confident than you, though he might be dumb or he might not be having that much skill you have or the knowledge you have. But English is more important for the confidence. अगर जिसको वो English आती है उसका confidence level अलग होता है उसके चेहरे पे. It can be seen in his eyes and in his facial expressions, gesture, posture. So how to develop fluent English, how to bring then fluency in your English is you should practice watching movies with the subtitles. जैसे अभी लॉकडाउन चल रहा है सब लोग मूवीज देखते हैं. Even I too watch movies, Hindi movies, English movies, it doesn't matter. You should, if you're watching Hindi movies, you should see it with the subtitles. अगर YouTube पे देखते हो तो YouTube पे देखो हेडफोन्स लगा के जब हम देखते हैं तो हमारा कंसंट्रेशन लेवल बहुत ज्यादा होता है क्योंकि वो लाउड वॉल्यूम में होता है. अगर हिंदी में देख रहे हो and you have seen that this sentence I'm using regularly or alternately I'm using this sentence. अगर हम रोज एक सेंटेंस यूज करते हैं और वही सेंटेंस डायलॉग में वहां बोला गया है और नीचे उसका सबटाइटल में उसका इंग्लिश में फॉर्मेट सेंटेंस फ्रेम करके दिया है, then it is ready made to you. You should grab it, you should note it down, or you should practice it, you should WhatsApp it regular. If anyone is, you want to use that sentence again, you should use it in English. You can grab words. एक मूवी को हिंदी में देखो, फिर उसको इंग्लिश में देखो, और try to match their fluency in English. The other best thing is listening English music. पहले किसी को भी इंग्लिश सॉन्ग समझ में नहीं आते बेसिकली, एक दो बार सुनोगे समझ में आता है, देन यू शुड स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग इट. कीप योर लिरिक्स इन द फ्रंट. गाना ऐप में यू हैव सीन दैट लिरिक्स आते हैं उसमें, यू कैन रीड इट आउट. वंस यू हैव लर्न द लिरिक्स, यू कैन ट्राई टू मैच द फ्लुएंसी इन इंग्लिश. जैसा हम हिंदी में गाना बोल सकते हैं, आई मीन इन दैट फ्लुएंसी यू कैन cover that in English. This is very helpful to build up your English fluency. Also, the important thing is you should try, if you go for an interview, if the interviewer asks you something, अरे यार इसका आंसर क्या होगा, यार ये तो मैं पढ़ के नहीं आया, यार इसको क्या बोलूं अभी, you start thinking in Hindi, right? You start thinking in English and you take the time to translate it in English. अबे यार अभी इसको मैं इंग्लिश में कैसे जवाब दूं? So to overcome this, meanwhile जब हम translate करते हैं, it becomes a very awkward situation. Then in that 2 to 5 seconds, it becomes very awkward and is very bad impression. You should not do that. You should have a practice of thinking in English. हम लोग जैसे हिंदी मराठी में सोचते हैं, वैसा इंग्लिश में सोचना शुरू कर दें. This is very helpful to you. If you think in English, you can directly convey it to the person sitting in front of you. Yes, friend, you can use English channels, English movies and all. The main motto is you should keep your efforts. You should have interest in your building English. Some people have a practice of watching movies, late night watching movies. Even I to have habit of that. I always use the subtitles. It is very helpful to learn new words, and the sentences are framed. Ready-made framed sentences you get from there. If you are watching web series and from Netflix, Hotstar and all, everything is available online. Okay, I end up it now. I think Sir will take over the seminar further.
Prajakta, can you switch on the next slide?
Yes, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. Hi friends, how are you? Hope Prajakta was able to throw good light on the CV and the English speaking in fluency. If you have any questions related to that, you can ask Prajakta later. Since the time is short, I would like to wrap up fast related to internship. For me, internship is a very important part of a curriculum which normally students don't understand. They take it as a part of their what do you say, compulsion from the college. College वालों ने बोला है इसलिए कर लेते हैं. But do you even realize why a person after 3 years or 4 years of graduation is called a fresher? आप 12वीं तक पढ़ते हैं, बाद में ग्रेजुएशन करते हैं और बाद में पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन भी करते हैं. कुछ लोग आजकल ग्रेजुएशन पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन दोनों साथ में करते हैं और उसके बाद में भी आप पे फ्रेशर का टैग लगता है. बिकॉज द एजुकेशन सिस्टम इन इंडिया इज टू मच थियोरेटिकल. जो आप पढ़ते हैं और जो आप करते हैं बिजनेस में, प्रोफेशन में, उसमें तालमेल थोड़ा गड़बड़ है. So internship is the only way, I would say, only way of bridging this gap. There is no other way apart from summer internship or training that this gap can be bridged. So I would request every undergraduate student to do internship compulsory at least for 45 to 60 days. And how you should start with internship? First, where you should do internship. See, I always have been suggesting that the person should prepare a roadmap. Where does he end up after 15 years after completion of education? So you should be very clear in your mind what, which field you want to go, which company you want to pursue, what designation you are looking at after 15 years. 15 साल में आप खुद को कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं, ये 100 बार आपको ये सवाल पूछा जाता है. Unfortunately, लोग सोचते ही नहीं है. See, the thing is, if you can't think or you can't visualize, then it will be difficult for you to achieve. So always have a roadmap. Decide what sector you want to go into after completion of your education, what department you want to get into, accordingly apply for that internship. One more suggestion that I would have related to internship is that you should always try to work in a small scale industry or a SME industry. The reason I will tell you is that you will get an opportunity to work across the departments instead of working in a particular position for long run. So my suggestion would be to you is, if you are doing a 45 days of internship, first 7 to 10 days you should spend 3 days in each department, 3 to 2 days in each department: purchase, quality, production, accounting, finance, so that you will get a basic idea how the business works. And am I audible? Because somehow I am getting the feel the audience is feeling sleepy and they are not interested. Can you type in yes in the chat if everybody is listening? Or even if you have any questions. None? Okay, nice to see that most of you are awake. No, and good, good. So if you have any questions, you can put in on the chat. Meanwhile, what I had said till now was why you should do internship, where you should do internship. Question is how. See, as of now, I don't think that you will get too many summer internship opportunities in this financial year. So what you should do is that you should try to get assignments from the industry. But since you might not be having that network where whom to approach, what to do sitting at home, so we might be acting as a bridge. What we are trying to do is, very shortly, we will send a form across the network of our business. All our suppliers, all our customers, all our bankers, all our professional connections like CA, advocate, everyone. And in that form, we will ask them what assignments they would like to give to the students. See, we have tie up with few colleges. We'll get that filled form and send it to those colleges. And from there on, you will have to approach the college how what assignments you are interested and you would like to do. I would be very happy if you spend your COVID-19 break actively. And when I say actively, you have to keep reading about what is happening, keep getting the offline assignments from the companies. I will try to help you as much as possible from my end. Prajakta is there. You can coordinate with her how and what can be done. Hopefully, we will be able to tell you more about offline internship in coming days. If you have any more questions related to internship, you can ask me. No questions? Shall I wait or shall I move to the finishing finale of today's session? Okay, since I am not getting any more questions, I'd like to finish. Hope you are able to see my video. I'm showing you 3 books. Ah, okay. Uh, Ashutosh, very good question you have asked me is whether you should do job after graduation or you should do MBA. See, I have always advocated that you should never do MBA after graduation. There is a reason. In European countries, you are not allowed to do masters in business administration till you complete the age of 27. Why? See, what is the full form of what is the full form of MBA is Masters of Business Administration, and for that you need to understand what the business is about. If you don't understand what is purchase, what is accounts, what is finance, what is sales, tenders, exports, then what is the point in doing MBA? So I have always advocated complete your graduation, do at least 2 years of job. The reason MBA exploded, everybody started doing MBA was that the salary of graduate and postgraduate was supposed to be, for postgraduate, it was supposed to be higher. But it was not like that. It was not meant like that. The actual reason was this. Actual reason was this, that suppose you have completed your graduation, you are doing a job. Now you want to improve your or enhance your knowledge. You want to get additional skills. For that, MBA was started. Now it has become a fashion. Everybody is doing MBA without understanding the logic why you should do an MBA and without any prior job experience. So for me, it is always graduation, job, then post graduation. It goes in a simple way. The other reason why I will tell you that you should follow what I have said is that unless and until you have practical experience, first-hand experience of job or business, you won't be able to relate with MBA. It will be a theoretical education, and you won't enjoy doing MBA. You would really enjoy MBA, doing MBA or any post-graduation once you have the first-hand job experience. Even if you have a long-term internship, then also you will be able to relate it. But I meant long term. That should be an year's internship minimum. Then only it will be helpful for you. Because gradually you will get the hold of all the things in your about the business, all the departments. Then only you will be able to relate with MBA. Hope I was able to answer that question. Somebody has asked me a question that due to poor communication, the interview didn't go well and the confidence is low. See, the confidence is built from within. You have to be positive about everything. The world doesn't end with one interview. But I have been advocating one thing very clearly, that whatever you do, you should do it with full heart and complete preparation. Without that, you will just give us any interview and you will keep repeating it, and then you will keep demoralizing yourself. So give interview, send your CV as if this is the last job opportunity in the world. इसके बाद कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला, और वो कॉन्फिडेंस आपको खुद ही जनरेट करना पड़ेगा. You have to trust yourself. See, people around you will always try to say that no, you are not fit for this, you are not good for this, you will not be able to do this. Forget about what people are saying. In your heart and in your mind, if you are very clear that I can do this, I will do this, then you will definitely get the result. See, I'll give you a very simple example of my life. I studied hard in 12th standard, I got 94%. Whereas in 10th standard, I didn't work that much hard, I got 81%. So for me, it has been very simple throughout my life till date. Whenever I have worked hard or whenever my team has worked hard, we have got the results. And whenever we have not worked hard, we have not got the results. Working hard will give you more confidence. That is the only solution. Hope I was able to answer that question. Now I'd like to end the session by showing you again 3 books. Hope everybody is able to see me. So this is the book to boost your confidence. Shiv Khera, Indian author, very good. You can win. That should be a good book. For people who are looking opportunities in marketing, this is a really good book. How to sell anything to anybody. Very nice book. It has got a lot of marketing strategies for a salesperson. Try reading this book. Then this is Lee Iacocca, Talking Straight. Again, a very good businessman. And you'll enjoy reading this book. An American entrepreneur, how he was able to overcome a lot of difficulties, and this should be helpful. So guys, we would like to end today's session. If you are really enjoying or if you have learned something and you feel that there is any subject which we could cover, so please send your suggestions in chat to Prajakta or myself, and we'll try to work it out in next week. Let's enjoy our lockdown as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. After this session, I'll forward you one link, one feedback form. Please fill it up with your response for topics for next session you want to be get covered, and we'll welcome your suggestions. Thank you. Here we end up with the session. Thanks all to join us.